All right, well, it is the last week of February here in southern Indiana, and we've got a couple hours here this morning. We're going to get out, do a little bit of shed hunting. We're on the property that we spent most of our time during hunting season on, where we've got our forward hit list bucks. So get out here, we've got the cameras running. We're going to take some of that information we've got and see what we can't find today.
With the limited time that we do have, we're just going to strictly kind of keep our searching to just the bedding areas, and specifically the bedding areas that we've stayed out of all season long. We had a couple trail cameras running back, some really thick early successional cover that was pretty adjacent to the large food sources, which were beans and corn this year on the lower fields. And just the way the bedding areas worked, it looked great for a camera location during the season. We had Dub and Leroy working amongst grape quite often. So we basically stayed out of the bedding areas and basically worked off that with our hunting strategy, being the first year that we've hunted this property. Since then, we've been running trail cameras all postseason long, trying to figure out when the bucks have been shedding. Out of the 4 bucks that we do have on this property, Blade, Leroy, Dub, and Towers. Towers have shed. Dub is still holding. Leroy and Blade, we don't actually have tabs on. We lost them halfway through the season after a couple of encounters. So that's where we're going to be searching. Keep it strictly to the bedding areas with the limited time, and we'll hit this property a little bit harder come late February or early March.
All right, what's the game plan?
Let's just grab this drone here. We'll fly it over this bedding area. You can get some footage there, and then we'll go ahead and search it.
Okay, cool. Flying over the bowl here. There's something right here. Right there. Let's go down and look at it here. What is that? Let's see, I think it was over this way a little bit more.
It's got to be in that tall grass there.
Yeah, probably.
Stickers.
Okay.
Yep.
I see it, yeah.
Yeah, tips. Well, we just arrived here on this pretty gruesome scene, but you find these when you're shed hunting. Unfortunately, it's not what you want to see. But we checked one side of this south-facing slope, one of the bedding areas. We got back in the truck and we were gonna go check, and this is what we kind of call the bowl. It's the bedding area that's right adjacent to the big food source. We had a couple trail cameras here with mock scrapes, and we knew this was definitely one of the places that we wanted to hit when shed hunting. Actually was flying the drone over, and Brett spotted it on his drone footage there, and so it's not funny how it worked out, but
yeah, it's a good thing we found him. This, like I said, this is a buck we called Blade, these big old paddle sides, and we only had this buck on camera twice, trail camera twice, and one was preseason right before season started, and the other one was actually 2 days before I took a shot at him. And we were up, or I was up. It was actually just self-filming up on the hillside or hilltop stand set. And opening day of gun season, he walked in. It was about just after 1 o'clock actually, and he come out of the pines, walked in, gave me about a 40-yard shot. I shot at him, and he kind of spun around real quick, took 2 quick hops, stopped and paused for about 12 seconds, and then walked into the pines real nice and slow. Stopped again in the pines, but again I was using my muzzleloader, couldn't get reloaded in time, and then he just walked off nonchalantly. And acted as if nothing had happened. So, we searched the area where he stopped both times, looked all throughout the pines, didn't find any blood. Searched from the pines into the oaks. There's some nice thick cover there. Searched in there, looked, didn't find anything, and kind of looked at, just off the runway actually, in one other bedding area. But we never made it back this far because once we didn't see any blood. We thought, we looked at that footage over and over and thought it was just a clean miss. But, at the same time, since he was so camera shy preseason, it wasn't uncommon not to see him on camera.
We didn't think nothing of it.
Later in the season. So, in the back of my mind, I wondered if he was, in fact, dead somewhere. And this was kind of an area we thought of, but we stayed off of it. Because we didn't want to bust any of the other bucks or deer out of this bull bedding area.
Yeah, and Dub always ran with Blade, so that was one of our, besides Blade and the other hitless bucks, that was one of our main hitless bucks. And this bedding area is real thick, and
right.
we've got a couple houses right here, not too far away. And it's just something that we really didn't want to bother too much. But it's also how far?
500 yards. Yeah, it's 500 yards from where it took
500 yards from the shot, and we just didn't think to
no blood trail.
Really check it, with the camera and no blood trail. It wasn't,
but it's good we found him. It definitely puts a close to this buck. The brief history we had with it. This is the first year we've hunted this property, so nice, nice mass on this right side. He's got some traits actually here on the front that the other buck Dub has. This 3 little points here off the right brow tine, or off the right tine beam, but. It puts a close to this guy, and now we can start building our hit list, bucks for next season.
At this point, once you do find a dead head, obviously you're gonna have sour stomach. It's not something that you wanted to find while shed hunting. I'd rather find these sheds apart from the body there, but there are a lot of positives you can take away from finding a dead head, and you kind of got to start playing more biologist than anything at this point. Really trying to think of it from a deer management perspective and a hunting perspective on your strategy next year. At this point, obviously when we get the head home, we're going to score it, but it's also a really important thing to try to find the jawbones. A lot of times they'll be buried in the dirt. If it's real fresh like this, you're going to find the jawbones. If you don't know cause of death right off the bat, you definitely want to look around, and with dead heads, you can often find real sharp antlers here. At the base where they didn't get out of velvet and they died before they did, and that's a obviously sign of EHD, and more so you're going to find those dead heads around water. But to determine cause of death for Blade, we obviously know it was probably the shot. Finding them here 500 yards away or so from the shot. Make sure you take these jawbones. We're gonna be able to age him, and just by looking at the jawbone here, it looks to be he's definitely probably 3 years old, which is what we kind of pinned him as a next year buck. So always try to make sure you get the jawbone so you know what age he was at. It kind of gives us a little bit better clues as far as to how old Dub is. Not exactly, but kind of gives us a size age comparison to go by. And obviously once we go ahead and score this deer, we actually thought he was smaller than Dub, significantly smaller than Dub. He's obviously got some really good mass, but kind of gives us some insight into how big Dub actually is and how big he'll be for next year.
He'll be a monster.
Yeah, so that's another really good takeaway. And then beyond that, it's really making some really key observations. Back in Trail Cameras Weekly during the season, we kind of covered several times there mock scrapes, where to put trail cameras, but also how frequent you get these bucks on trail cameras and what it kind of pertains to as far as going after and hunting them. He only showed up twice. Once preseason, like he mentioned, and then right before gun season.
2 days before.
Two encounters on trail camera, yet we still got the opportunity, and the harvest opportunity was there. Just got a little bit messed up there, but that's one of the good takeaways there. Dub was, we had several encounters with him. He was all over the trail camera. Same with Towers. We never got an opportunity at Towers, yet we got the opportunity at Blade when he was only on trail cameras. He's just a camera shy deer. So that's one of the takeaways. The other big takeaway is that this is definitely a big section of security cover. Yep. And this is one of the main bedding areas on the property, and we're going to be able to play off that with our food plot strategy, our hunting strategy, different wind directions. It will be a big part of going to this spring and going into this summer with our food plots and our hunting strategy for next year. So finding a deadhead isn't always it's always a bad thing, but there's also several positives that you can take away.
It's a relief to find this one. So.
Peace of mind is a huge one. So it's a bad thing, but there are some positives, and make sure you seize and grasp all the opportunities here when you come across something like this. So we're going to go ahead and get them on home and clean them up, score them, and go from there and use these observations and these insights and help us for next year.